Well, no, it's like you meet this girl you love, and like I never even tried it life really. I was before that, and I'm just like, oh god, I better start trying to make money so she doesn't like leave me for the neighbor. I mean, I was like,
Welcome everybody to the Not For Nothing podcast, hosted by the dynamic duo Christopher Michael and Ashley Maland, where they delve into life, love, relationships, and personal growth. Be sure to tune in every week for a refreshing take on life's most important lessons.
All right, so what's up, Anthony? Welcome.
how you doing, guys?
Good.
What are you guys doing in my living room right now?
Yeah, right.
It's weird. They just came over to my house, like put up that sign in my living room. It's weird. I don't
Do you
know.
like it?
Yeah, I love it. It's a great sign. It's just
That's you,
Oh, I'm glad you love
and
it.
that's me.
yeah.
Yeah, we're
crazy.
going to have to change this up a little bit, but it's still going to generally look the same.
It sounds super New York after I realized you're from New
Not
York.
for nothing, right?
It sounds
Not
super
for-
New York
not
after
for
you said that.
nothing.
Yeah.
That's like the.
You know, I
that-
never thought of that.
It is. That's why we can't. It's like culturally for Italians
Not for
and New
nothing.
Yorkers especially.
You're Italian too?
I am Italian. Yeah.
Awesome, me too.
So it's like not for
You're
nothing.
Italian?
I mean Anthony. Yeah, my name's.
That makes sense, but the look.
I'm Irish Italian. living in
There
New
we
Zealand.
go. Now it's coming together.
It's always about race with you.
What do you guys
So-
think I am?
So
I think I told you, but what do you think I am?
I think you're Swedish.
I think you're a great person.
Just 'cause
you
you're
know.
Oh,
think you're-
well,
I think you're
that's
just-
true.
I'm joking, Ash. I don't think you're Swedish.
Swedish. I'm like, really? Never gotten that. That's the first.
If I had to guess, I mean, are you a mix?
Yeah,
You are. Okay, so
I'm a mixed breed.
Irish.
There's a little Irish in there, yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I can get them all.
First guy, good.
Irish.
He's going good so far.
Right. 1 for 3, I think.
You'd make a great Nazi, you know? Like,
Yeah, right.
What are the races?
On that note, German.
There might be, but I don't think so. No.
So, I mean, how many things are you mixed with exactly, your Ash?
Like 3.
3.
It's like a-
Russian?
No.
Way off. See, I'm not as good at this. I wouldn't make as good of a Nazis.
Persian,
No. I'll just go ahead and tell y'all. Southeastern Asian
Southeast.
That makes sense after you said that. You look at it. Yeah, that makes sense.
and Native American.
Southeast Asian, Native American. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
On both sides of my family, actually.
Okay,
Doug
Very
knew.
nice.
Yeah.
That would explain the perfect.
There is
hair.
like some Czech in there too, but it's like tiny bit.
I'm always wondering like how people find that out. Like, how do you know
Your
that
DNA
there's
testing.
Czech? You did do DNA test.
I did, yeah.
Okay, so you're not just guessing.
No.
Okay.
No.
Like,
I already knew the Native
You're like,
American part.
This part
and
of
the
me
Irish
looks
part.
like it's
Yeah.
Czech, so we'll just say that.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, Ant, thanks for coming all this way, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
I know you had a rough day getting here yesterday.
Sure,
so-
and today too. I'm like, oh my god. It's like next time I'm walking here,
2 days.
it'd be less stressful to walk the foot next
2
time.
days in
Yeah.
a row, this guy had to get up at like 3:30 in
Oh,
the
God.
morning.
And it's awful.
It is.
It's
but,
awful.
But it's worth it, you know. It's worth it.
It is worth it.
You guys
I
have a
mean,
cool show going on, so I
it's-
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're happy to have you, man.
Yeah. You know, because I said yes most of the time, I just don't answer people, so I appreciate
Oh,
it.
really?
Usually, yeah. Like you guys have your can you cuss in there?
Yeah, yeah.
You guys have your
absolutely.
shit together. You know, I like what you guys are doing. It's really positive and so upbeat. And it's kind of direction. It's weird how energy works. The kind of direction I want to take it because I feel like when I was young, I just tried to be like shocking and all that stuff. You know,
Right.
and now I'm just like I like the vibe you guys have and it's good and like I mean, she's always posting positive stuff, and like your show is really positive, and just
Cool.
like I prefer that honestly. That's why I was
Yeah.
like, that sounds like a good opportunity.
Oh, that's
And, like,
awesome.
And I'm
Thanks,
just trying
man.
to. I think it's a higher frequency and higher vibration than negativity, and I'm trying to get into that more so. But I'm still temperamental, you know.
It is.
Trying not to be, but
But hey, that's progress, right? That's
Yeah.
evolving.
it's trying to be, you know.
It's very Russell Brand of you.
very
Very Russell Brand.
Bust out the chest hair too.
Did you ever see the show when he went on to I don't know if it was NBC. I forgot what morning show he went on. The female co-hosts were so like flustered by him.
Oh, I
Yeah.
bet.
I mean, you could see like in there they could not handle him, and he's so
I
like
love
he's
him.
so confident,
I love him.
and the way he was talking, they were like
They got
you-
pregnant. I was like, just from being there. Yeah.
They absolutely.
He's so
lot of pregnancies.
intelligent that it's
He
almost
is.
scary.
His intellect is pretty off the charts.
I could just like he and like Jordan Peterson and like people like I could just sit and listen to them for hours. Literally.
Yeah.
They're almost as cool as Doug.
They are
Almost.
almost.
They're
Almost.
getting, they're
as
getting
cool.
there. Thanks, guys.
But
They're getting there, you know.
so yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been a rough couple of days for you. It's all right.
He
But we're
almost
here.
didn't make it,
We're
but he's
here now.
here.
We're
And
here
that's
now.
how we know it was meant to be.
No, definitely. No, it was weird because all the times are right still. Like it was a very stressful and weird situation. I imagine for you too, you had to deal with a lot of that too, man. So it's like, but I was like looking at it, like, okay, so I get at the airport at 4:44. I get back at 5:55.
Right.
And I'm like a numbers guy. So I'm like, okay, so somehow that happened for a reason, even if it's very irritating and wasting your time too. I'm just like,
No, you weren't
I
wasting.
mean,
my time.
I felt like that. I'm just like, dude, this guy's a saint for like how he's talking right now. It's like, I don't know how you're from New York, man. Like,
I know.
He's like, this guy's from New York. This is gonna be.
You left that anger up there, I guess. But but no, it was such a crazy experience. But all the numbers were lining up and stuff too. So it's weird. I'm into numerology and stuff. I'm like, yes, I'm a lesbian. So it's I'm
right.
So I'm really into numerology.
Right. And look at my wrist.
I'm into mine's like 444. So it's like weird that was the time I got to the airport, and then I got back at 555, and it was like. I'm like, weirdly, this is supposed to happen, but I don't know why. And then the next day, I'm just like, I should be in Florida right now.
Right.
I mean, it's like the whole day. I'm like riding I have like an e-bike. I was like riding to like this Greek restaurant. I'm like, I should be in fucking Florida right now. It's like the coldest day Missouri's had in a week or two. It was just like fucking. And then I have to do it again. And people are like, hey man, you want to have fun? I'm like, no, I gotta go to bed at 8 p.m. so I don't fuck this up twice in a row. so it was worth. It's all worth it though. I'm just saying.
Is worth
it. Now you're in sunny Florida. It's beautiful out today.
Yeah, you're here till Monday, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
He's crashing.
You got to take him to do something
hosting.
Great. Go see the ocean at least.
I think we're gonna beat up some homeless people after this. This was me and Chris were talking about earlier. We're just gonna go, beat up some homeless.
That sounds like a great idea.
It was Doug's idea.
We're gonna take them for a swim.
That's an even better idea. Go clean them off.
Just go clean.
Give
them
them a good
off.
bathing.
Right.
I'm just joking, man.
Clean the dirt off.
It's like someone like me makes fun of the homeless. Like, I look like I'm.
Right?
Look like the
I'm like,
homeless.
give Anthony a good bathing while you're there too.
I'm like crashing at his house. I'm like, yeah, let's go beat up the homeless. I'm like in this situation, I
They're
would
like,
be.
but you are homeless.
Right.
I would be the guy we beat up, like in this situation.
Well, you're incognito, so you'll get closer to that. You know.
Yeah, the
You
sunglasses
should be an
thrown up.
undercover cop. That's what you should be.
People think that. People think that sometimes. Like
I bet they do.
It must be really hard for you to buy drugs.
It's actually what they just give them to me. You know, it's like in comedy they just give you drugs. That's always hard not to do drugs.
Yeah,
Right.
So everybody's supposed to get fucked up. You're like, dude, I got fucked up with this one guy that did something one time. And it's like, I'm like, oh, shit. I can't do that. Not only do that, I drink still. I said,
You do still drink?
That's about it, yeah. I quit weed. That was a crazy thing.
You know, speaking of like energy and all of that, they say alcohol's the worst for your energy and like your aura and all
Really?
that.
What about tequila? Since
They
it's
say
a
it's
stimulant.
the worst thing for it. Like it
I love tequila,
kills.
though. That's great.
Tequila is the only stimulant alcohol.
Is it really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I wonder if that's why it affects people
It's
differently.
not a downer.
We're just learning
It's an
stuff.
upper.
Tequila makes me mean.
Does it really?
I'm not a drinker. I actually the Asian part of me, my body does not like alcohol.
Right.
So it's not enjoyable
Not
for
even
me.
sake?
I don't know. I've never tried it. I just don't enjoy it. My body just is like, no, thank you, immediately. Like, but I've had tequila before, and I just remember being really mean.
Really?
I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah,
imagine
there's
you
some
being
time.
mean.
I
can't imagine.
I
it.
can be mean. I can be very mean. But I just like
Really?
I was like I always thought that was interesting that people get mean on
I'm
tequila.
gonna have to feed you some tequila one day.
To see me
how
mean?
Just to see how this goes.
No, please.
I feel like you need to see every side of everyone.
You'll
Yeah.
see every side of me. I don't like try to not be myself
Right.
ever.
No,
So
no, I know.
that's not an issue.
No, but I'm sure most people consciously try not to be assholes.
I don't.
Yeah.
You
I don't. I
No?
really don't.
All right.
No, because I think overall I'm really not. I don't have to try to not be one.
You're not no, you're not an asshole.
You know what I mean? It's just like not my nature to like,
Right.
okay, I better be nice today.
That's kind of why I want to see it. Don't worry, I won't try to bring it out.
Tick me off. Let's see what
Dude, I had to
happens.
drink to not be a bitch on the plane though. I'm like terrified of heights. I'm just like, this is the dumbest way to die ever.
Are you really?
No, I'm terrified of heights. I fucking hate heights. That's why I have a tour bus. I don't fly normally. I fucking hate flying.
Right.
But I was like, look out there. I mean, I still, I just fucking look out there. I'm like, this fucking sucks. And then, so I'm like, can I have 2 shots of Jack? And they didn't even charge me. They didn't even fucking charge me. And that was
Really?
weird. Yeah. I was like, I had a gun, but I mean, I'm sure.
Right.
I'm just joking. No, they didn't even charge me. They, like,
Can I get a couple shots?
no,
Or
I didn't.
I'm gonna give you a shot.
Right.
No, I didn't even. I was lying about the gun part, but everything. Like I was telling Doug before you guys got here that like I'm in this like weird free drink spree. Like everybody's been giving me free drinks. I have no idea why.
That is interesting.
And I don't know why. And I asked for it this time. Even though I don't even ask for it. Like it's
Right.
like weird, it's just not spree I'm in right now.
Yeah, well, it's not a bad spree to be in.
That's a
Anything
great one,
free, a free spree sounds pretty great.
Right.
That was
You know?
weird. I was planning on like buying them. I'm like, I hate heights.
There's only 2 types of people that get free drinks in this world: old people and ladies.
Yeah, I guess I'm old people now.
Seriously.
I'm finally old. It works out.
Guys flip the bill for everything else.
No, usually you're right. No, you're right. That's why I don't even understand. There's handing me stuff. I'm like, that's weird.
It's like Chris Rock said, not pertaining to drinking. There's only 2 things in this world that are loved unconditionally: dogs and women.
Women are not
it.
loved unconditionally. I would beg to differ. So we can start there.
Yeah, I'm sure you have feelings on that.
How about you? Where do
About
your
what?
wife and your kiddos up to while you're here?
Oh, I don't have kids. I'm too selfish for that. But I have. But I am married, and I've been. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Being married is like the best feeling ever, all the time, pretty much.
Aw.
It's just like I'm like now you have to hang out with me contractually. You can't go anywhere. We're married.
You have no choice.
This is a covenant.
Yeah. We're trying to have kids. We'll probably try and we'll probably have kids for like 9 months when I get back to Missouri.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Trying to
Very cool.
But we're just gonna try. We're gonna practice.
Yeah,
So you
that's
guys-
a good
you
idea.
have to track like when she's ovulating and everything.
Oh no, I just been I'm gonna have sex a bunch when I get back.
Let's see what happens.
I already missed her. I'm like sitting next to this old couple, and I'm just like, I miss my wife already. Like, I was like,
that's nice.
Aw.
yeah, it's the weekend too, so it's like it's like I was just like, man,
Yeah, I was looking at a post of you guys. You
Yeah.
seem to be very,
How did you
very
two
much
meet?
in love.
we met on Grindr.
How did you two meet?
I'm just joking. Doug introduced us on Grindr. No, we basically she was friends with like somebody who lived across the street from my parents' house. This lady named Gina or something, and I guess she told her I was funny or something like that, and like wingman me without knowing it. So it worked out. I met her, and then I just like tried not to tell her I love her right away because I was just like, don't ruin this, be creepy, like
Don't be a weirdo.
Yeah, don't. It's like I met her and I like fell for her immediately. I was just like immediately. I'm like, don't tell her this. Yeah, it lasted about 2 weeks before I told her.
What made you feel that way?
I just clicked immediately. It was weird. It was just like a weird click that just worked. It was like, I've never had that in my entire life, and I don't know.
Wow, that is so
Yeah,
cool.
definitely.
I've
Funny
heard
how
of that
that
happening
happens.
to people before. But
I begged for it for years. You know what I mean, I was like, oh man, what's somebody's not a moron, And then no, it just clicked and worked out and stuff, and
That's awesome. She's a comedian too, no?
Well, she opened for me in Hawaii, but she's normal.
You're kidding.
She thinks she's a comedian, but I mean, she's not.
He's like, she's not that
she's
good.
she's funnier than I am, but she's not as narcissistic and self-promoting. So
Right,
that's the only difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, she did a show in Hawaii. That was her first set, and so it was like it pissed off all my comedian friends because they're all like, we're like doing shows in other states, and like Gabby's like, yeah, I opened for him in Hawaii. He's like, you did a show in Hawaii. Like all my comic friends are just so
And
busy.
she
Yeah.
opened for you?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the benefit of being
Yeah.
married, you know?
That's
yeah,
it.
she has to
Yeah.
deal with me all the time. So
Yeah.
take the perks when you can.
Yeah, exactly. I bet you guys laugh a lot. That's for sure.
She's way funnier than me. Like she definitely makes me laugh for sure.
Oh, I should have got her on the show.
Yeah, I know. Next time, have,
Yeah,
me
the both of you.
have me promoted to have her
Right.
on it. Yeah.
That's it. I'm sure she won't miss her flight.
Oh no shit, dude. Yeah, she's way more responsible. Had I been with my wife, I would have been there 4 hours early. Yeah.
Does she balance you out? She does.
Oh,
right?
definitely.
I'm
I was
sure.
nuts before I met that girl. Yeah, it
Yeah?
was fucking nuts. Yeah.
It's
So do you-
amazing how women do that for you. If you love, like, women
Yeah.
that you love.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how that worked out. Yeah, I got very lucky and won't ever mess that up. You know?
So being with her, did it make you want to be better? Or was it just like that time in your life where you're like, okay, I feel like I need to change things?
Well, no, it was like you meet this girl you love, and like I never even tried at life really. I was before that, and I'm just like, oh god, I better start trying to make money so she doesn't like leave me for the neighbor. I mean, I was like, oh god, I better start trying. And I was doing like I was doing things in entertainment or something. I wasn't like trying to monetize it or even
Right.
doing it or doing anything well at least.
Right.
And I met her, and I'm like, oh fuck, I better start trying.
Yeah.
That's basically how it started.
Yeah.
Met her
Oh,
at 28 and then start trying then.
Yeah.
It's just
You just wanted to hold on to her. You didn't want her to go anywhere.
well, yeah, you can't lose that shit. You can't. It's real, you
Aw.
know.
Yeah, for sure. How does she feel about your podcast and comedy and everything that you do?
I don't think she listens to it, so she doesn't know.
No.
But I don't think she knows I have one. But no, she's really cool, and like I think most girls would be uptight with having a porn star co-host, and she's just like doesn't even care. It's hilarious.
Okay.
Like,
Tell
I
us
think,
more about that too in a minute.
I
but-
think
yeah.
most girls would be very insecure about how I am as a person.
Right.
Yeah.
And, but I'm not. But I'm loyal, and she knows that, so that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think. But it's just like I think I'm kind of wild, and like, in a lot of ways, that people think is wild. I don't think I think I'm boring, but I think other people think I'm like wild, and girls would freak out if you even talk to a porn star. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you have
Oh,
one
for sure.
co-host, you know what I mean? Most girls would freak out.
Right.
Like I fucking hate you, blah 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 blah. You know, that's what girls sound like.
Who is your co-host?
Yeah.
Who's the co-host, by the way?
Co-host Nikki Knightley.
Nikki Knightley?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have heard that name before.
Yeah.
I bet you have.
Well, I don't watch. no.
I bet Doug has too.
I don't. I really don't watch porn.
I think I read her name in my search history. Like, I think I read it.
I might have Googled her once or
She,
twice.
you just miraculously popped up one day.
Listen, I think everybody watches porn.
No,
let's
they
be
don't.
real here.
I don't.
Everybody
I
does.
did. I don't now. I did.
You wish you did, though.
Do I?
You wish you did.
Yeah, I wish I did so bad that I've never done it or felt like it
Oh,
before.
That's why people. I used to
Really?
watch porn, but I don't. No, like, then that's what's funny about them getting mad. Like, I was trying to get the studio or whatever, and then like they get mad at me for having a porn star co-host, and I'm like, I don't even watch porn. And they're like, you have like gambling things. I don't even gamble. I just sell ads. You know what I mean? So I don't even smoke weed now and have weed ads. So it's just like you know what I mean? It's just like I'm just like a salesman. I'm just
Yeah.
like, you guys are the degenerates. I don't fucking do anything. You know, it's like that's how I feel.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. I think I watched porn when I was like 18, 19.
Yeah, that
But then you
that
get-
makes
then-
sense.
then you
I
get
watched
o-
it for
then you
years.
get over it.
I watched it for years. I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't even care anymore. It's like it got weird when it started being like stepbrother and stepsister. I'm like, I'm out. I'm out, bro. All the titles.
I draw the line in incest.
All the titles got incestuous. I'm just like, I'm out, man. I'm not Alabama enough for this, you know.
Right.
I'm just like, I can't even use Pornhub anymore. It ruined my life. You know, it's like nothing you want to do. Like when you go to look at porn, like, okay, oh fuck, it's like step ant. I'm like, oh god, I gotta get out of here. I gotta leave right now. I can't.
This isn't for me anymore.
I'm like, burn this phone.
Grandma's gone wild.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm out, dude. I'm out. That's what it did. I think that's when I officially stopped looking at porn. I think that's what it was.
No, I mean, I can appreciate that. I can
Yeah.
respect that
I
even.
can too.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem. Like people get so far into it that there are no lines anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? And then it ends up with weird stuff like that documentary about what was the guy that went to prison and he actually didn't commit the crime. And it ended up being his nephew. Do you know what I'm talking
what was
about?
the story?
It was on Netflix. It was huge like 4 years ago.
Was it about a family in particular?
How to
or-
Become a Murderer or something like
Oh
that.
yeah,
or-
I saw that.
Do you know
I
what I'm
saw it.
talking about?
Yeah.
And
I've heard of it. I've
Well,
heard
I
of
know
it.
the
that
I
poor
know the
guy
show.
got accused of this murder of a girl.
Right.
It's crazy.
And he was in prison for years.
Right.
And then he got out, and then somehow the cops in his town framed him for another murder.
Oh yeah, I did
Remember
see
that?
Yes,
and
I
he
do.
didn't do that one either.
It was wild because he was like a troublemaker growing up, and then
Yeah.
they were waiting to pin something on him.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember.
But it ended
Yeah.
up being his nephew, right? Wasn't
Yeah.
it his nephew?
It was
I didn't see it, but I heard it,
something
yeah.
like that. I just know it
yeah,
wasn't
his
him.
nephew. And they talked about how his computer was like full of like this really graphic porn. The
Right.
nephew's was like really morbid porn.
Ted Bundy tried to blame that too on porn, I think.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah,
he
I
said
think
that
Ted
was the
Bundy-
reason why. I guess if you put psychopathy and porn together,
Yeah.
bam.
Yeah.
Like,
Brutal
this
murderings
is
of
what I
women.
want to do.
Yeah.
I found
That's
my
a weird way to
found
do-
my purpose.
That's a weird way to like to not have no accountability though.
Right?
Like, you're like, dude,
It
no, it's the
wasn't-
porn star's fault that I murdered this
Right.
family. You know, it's like I'm like, no, you're just a psycho. Maybe
Right.
maybe though, if he's I mean, if enough people say that, maybe it does have some kind of
Well,
influence.
there
on
is
it.
a lot of like studies on porn and what it does
Could-
to the brain.
Yeah,
actually.
Well, it's probably the degenerate society we're in right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
we created a lot of that, you know, and like OnlyFans being the new social media almost now. It's like that regular, you know. It's like,
Yeah, it's wild.
and I feel weird about feeding into it sometimes. But I think I think Nikki's like getting out of porn because she's on the podcast. It's like saving people. I'm in a while
Yeah.
ways how I
Right.
justify it to myself. But
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, I'm sure some of them.
What are her thoughts on like being in the porn industry? What did she enjoy it? Was it something she doesn't enjoy? She did it for money? Like what
I think
are
when she's younger. Yeah, I think when she's younger, I think she's getting bored with it now. And wants to do art basically, and wants to, likes the podcast and stuff now. I think.
That's cool though.
But we're talking about that. Like I think one of these episodes. I think she was kind of talking about that. She kind of just like. I mean, she. My friends are like super Catholic, so they're like making fun of her for doing porn. And she's like, "You like live at your parents' house? I'm a fucking rich person." Like, I mean, she's like roasting. Like Carl's like 24, so he's like roasting the kid basically.
Right.
But she was like, well, yeah, I got my own stuff. But I've seen there's a lot of episodes like that, and like I don't know. But I think as her real answer, that's just like entertainment. But I think it's
Yeah.
like a real answer. I think she's like more into art and stuff now. It seems like,
Okay.
and she's been killing it. I mean, she's like, I mean, man, there's so many times. Like my mom, I don't want to talk about that. But I was going through like a bad time, and to a degree, I'm being vague, so I don't talk about this for 4 hours to you guys on your show.
No, you're
But and just start crying on your show. But no, I was going through like a bad time,
a safe
and I
place.
would just like leave the show, and she'd co-host. Like I would just like walk out, and these like theoretical physicists, they're just morons. They're pretending to be smart, and I'm just like they just like hide behind like their doctorates and stuff, and pretend like they're intelligent and be condescending. And I thought like they did this like American confidence hustle versus actually being intelligent. And I was like, I just would leave, and she like was like holding her own with them and stuff, and just really good. And that's how she became the co-host actually.
wow.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I went
pretty
through,
cool.
I went through this weird time where I had my friend Sean was the co-host of from Smile Empty Soul. He was the co-host for like 9 months, and he had this guest on, and I like just made fun of him really bad, and he got mad at me, I think, and then like so I had to get a new co-host.
Did he really? He got mad that you were.
It was his
taking it in?
friend. It was his friend. I
Oh.
apologized a million times since then, but it was like just I just kept making fun of his friend, calling him fat and shit, and like it was just funny to me because I'm like a child, but
Right.
I then apologized and like had accountability about it, but then then it went to a porn star co-hosting, and that's where it's at now.
Okay.
Interesting.
Smooth transition.
Very
yeah.
smooth.
Smooth transition.
It's like I'm gonna double down. You know?
It
It
It's
just
like,
makes sense, you know?
just double down. It's just great cross promo. Like the one episode on Rumble that blew up was like we had a comic on there. My buddies tell me it sounds like a joke, like two comedians and a porn star walking to a bar, like you're just like making
Right.
jokes about it.
It's true. It
Yeah.
does. But that's cool. So how do you like the podcast world? Like, what made you want to start doing it?
I didn't want a real job.
You just
I'm
Makes
just, like,
sense.
I hate working for people, and I just like hate listening to people that don't have cool ideas.
Right.
Basically, it's like I'm uneducated, so I'd be working like in the dumbest job possible. You know, I mean, I don't have any degrees. I have no work experience. I have no life experience. I mean, I feel like if I'm not working for myself, I'd be like completely underpaid and just be like kind of have nothing going on.
So that's what inspired you to do it.
Well, I'm not. I was trying to be a musician, and I suck at music. So then I just went into comedy, which is natural progression. Well, okay. I guess what started was I got banned from writing. I was a writer, and I wrote for like Thought Catalog and Funny or Die, and like a bunch of other publications.
Right.
And then like cancel culture cancels everybody that's talented, basically, because they're intimidated by real talent. So then they could just call you names. And then basically I got blacklisted from writing, and then I started doing comedy.
Okay. And how's that been working out for you?
I mean, it's okay. It's
Well,
like,
that's
a
more
job.
of it's a safer place,
Yeah.
For
for your
now.
personality.
Yeah, for now, I guess.
Right.
But it's like, until they ban that too.
Right.
mean,
No,
how-
I know.
Yeah.
I would imagine it's pretty vulnerable standing up in front of people like that.
It's actually, it's way easier than having a job. I think sitting in a cubicle is worse. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
for 40 years, I'm just like sitting like my parents did. I'm like, yeah, and God bless them. I mean, they raised me and stuff. But I'm saying like, their job was harder than mine. Like raising me and sitting in a cubicle is probably way
Yeah.
harder than
Oh, yeah.
mumbling into a microphone for 30 minutes for a grand. I'm like,
Right.
You know, it's like, I mean, that's low level apparently. Like apparently it gets paid more as I go. So it's crazy. I haven't realized that yet, but people tell me that.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
crazy.
that's typically how it goes, right? The
There you
more
go.
successful you get, the more people want you.
You're just
Yeah.
you're just broke in your 20s, and then all of a sudden
Right.
your 30s, people want to work with you.
Yeah,
That's like
exactly.
what it felt like. Just working delivery jobs and bullshit like that, and then got into comedy, I guess. and
It's crazy how
podcasting.
that works for people that are successful or famous. It's like the richer they get, the more shit they get for free.
Right.
That
It
is
is
weird,
interesting.
too.
It's like backwards.
It is.
It's like actually when I started the podcast, I really needed that.
Right. That's why they stay rich.
I didn't make
It's
money
crazy.
for like 5 years of the podcast.
Really?
probably. Like, I mean, I did. Like, here, I sold $100 ad here, $100 ad there. Something, but not like substantial, not real money.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
And yeah, I mean, it took forever to build it up. I mean, because you have to like get people to listen to it, which I'm like surprised people even listen to it.
Right,
I'm
I
surprised
know.
I even have a. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, it's like humbling and awesome and
Yeah.
stuff, but it's like, it's a fun job. I mean, it's
It
easy.
is.
For me, it's easy, but I mean, it's probably how like somebody thinks music's easy. That's that's good at music or something. It's just
Right.
It's just
Right.
naturally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
I feel that way about my platform. Like
guys
yours is
are like
obviously
that
way
too.
bigger than mine, but
It's
like
not a measuring
I
cut, but
still
you guys
every
are
day
the
I'm
same.
like, why do I can't believe people care what I have to say.
That is a weird feeling. Yeah.
It is.
I mean, it's great, I guess, because it's a good message and it's from the heart, like it's sincere. But I am genuinely every day. I'm like, it's shocking to me still. Every single day, I'm like, I don't know how this happened. I didn't even try really. Like it wasn't on purpose.
Yeah.
It just happened, and I'm like really grateful. But I still am like, I don't even get it.
Well, you're
but
genuine too. I think people connect
That's
more
what
with people that are
works.
genuine.
No matter who you are, I think.
yeah, I
Oh,
agree.
yeah,
I agree.
absolutely.
That's what I
I
always tell
agree.
people when they like reach out to me. They're like, "How did you grow your platform?" I was like, "I really didn't purposely grow it. I just
Right.
was talking and being real and like talking about my own experiences and not
Yeah.
worrying about what people thought about it."
You didn't have to join the Illuminati.
No,
Right.
not
you
this.
you sidestepped the
yet.
Illuminati. That's
Seriously.
awesome.
No,
That's
I haven't
awesome.
yet, but I also don't make money really doing it. So when I want to join the Illuminati, I'll probably start making money.
Yeah, for sure.
It
That's
takes
what-
a second. I mean, entertainment takes a second. It's not like some job you get a degree and you just do. I mean,
Right.
it takes a lot of work and stuff like
It
that.
does.
And popping off's even hard. I mean, just
Yeah.
even do that. I mean, you guys, your podcast and your platform. I mean, it's already popping off, and that's hard to do in
It
the first
is.
place. I mean,
I mean, I guess it's hard. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's weird.
It's- I
you gotta
guess-
put it in perspective. I guess. It's
Fair,
kinda
fair.
like-
Yeah. Is it hard or is it just like
Yeah.
uncommon? I don't
It's
know.
a
I
tough,
like.
it's a tough industry to break into for sure, especially since it's so saturated.
yeah.
True.
But you just have to have faith in what you do. As long as you have faith in what you do and you have a good message, I think you're fine.
I
you
think
know?
if you're yourself,
Yeah,
the
you
more authentic you are, the more people care about what you say. I think
right
too.
because they connect with you. If someone thinks
Yeah.
you're full of shit, they're not going to listen.
I mean, and sometimes they
Yeah.
do. There's always somebody that pops on there that's like, "Oh, what a narcissist! This girl just wants attention. She cries for
know.
attention. She's, and I'm like, okay, whatever."
I guess that means every celebrity, singer, and everybody in the world is a narcissist,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because they want to be in the public eye.
You're
Like,
right.
No,
I,
mean,
cou-
it's-
and
it's
I
crazy.
even commented on one guy's comment before. I was like, "Yeah, I said I'm still working on my cry, but it's getting better." And you're right. It's like it's working for me. Like, thank you for noticing.
Well, in the world of like falseness, I think raw emotion and raw things are just like they're like almost like sacred and like different, and it's the same thing as like truth is like taken as like an insult sometimes too. I
Yeah.
think so I'll just tell people the truth and they get mad at me. They'll
Yeah.
be like, "Well, I mean, you literally asked me the fucking question." They'll be like, "What do you think of this?" I'm like, and I tell them and they get mad about it.
Well,
And it's
Yeah.
like,
We were talking about that yesterday. Nobody wants to look in the mirror.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's a hard
that's
thing with people.
I'm trying to double down on it. I'm trying to be accountable for everything. It's hard.
me
It's
too.
hard. I'm trying to double down on it. Like my problem right now is I have a temper and I just like go off on people.
Yeah.
And I try not to. So it's just like, then I ended up apologizing later. I'm like, "Oh, you're a fucking idiot, blah, blah." And the next day I'm like, "I'm really sorry about calling you a fucking retard 37 times.
But it's still,
I mean,
it's
it's
still,
like,
it's still better than just being an asshole.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's one thing to go like I was an asshole and I know that I was.
yeah.
You know,
And that's a hard conversation to have too. I mean,
it's humbling.
especially,
Yeah,
especially like 30 times a week,
Right.
I'm just joking,
but that's
there's
still
a-
progress.
No,
Like,
it is a
that's-
hard thing to do, but I think it's worth it. And I think, it's an evolution of human.
Yeah, that means you care.
No, I do.
You know,
and that's probably why I yell in the first place. I'm passionate. I
Yeah.
actually do care. And I was like, because I wouldn't even yell if I don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just like,
So like
Exactly.
with your podcast, do you make conscious efforts to stay, I guess, connected to your audience, or do you just kind of do your thing? Or at this point, you know what your audience wants, and you kind of placate.
I just do whatever I want
Right.
all the time, and then I talk to them. I'll pull their comments on the screen. Like they become my friends. Really, most of the listeners
Right.
just become friends of mine. Like somebody brought me food on the last podcast. I was like, hey,
Oh,
can
yeah?
I'm like, hey, somebody bring me Taco Bell, and they brought me Quick Trip. But it's
Quick trip.
Next best thing.
I'm like close enough. You didn't. You're not a real fan. They're not a real fan. Is what we're about talking about. But I mean, no, it's just like yeah, they become like friends and stuff, and it's like a cool environment, and like we have a lot of crossover fans from like Smile Empty Soul, being on the show a lot, and a lot of crossover fans from like Nikki's fan base and other people's fan bases that kind of just like latched on or connected.
Oh, that's cool.
And like thought it's pretty cool, and then like a lot of people from like I've just known forever listen to, so.
Okay.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
And I just kind of just do whatever I want all the time. It's like I kind of just like take weird, interesting guests and mix them with famous people, kind of.
Yeah.
Like I'll find like the last guy I was talking about you're supposed to talk about guardian angels, and like the one before that was like a comedian.
Oh, that's interesting. I want to hear about the guardian angel episode.
No, I did too. I asked him a question. He sidestepped every question.
Did he really?
Yeah, I'm like, so when did you meet your guardian angel? He's like, well, let me tell you the backstory first. I'm like,
right.
I'm just like, what the fuck? I just asked you a fucking question. It's like my entire job is to ask you a question.
Right.
It's like if you ask me about my podcast, I'm talking about cats or something.
Right.
It's just like
let me tell you about my cats.
It's just like
actually.
ludicrous, and God bless him. I mean, I don't know his point of view, but that's my point of view. I'm like,
so was this guy saying he had a guardian angel that he knows, like his guardian angel?
He named it and stuff. He says his name was Theo or something. He had some interesting stories, and yeah, it was cool. But I think like he has such interesting content. But I wanted to guide him more on like the story, and like I think he's conscious of it too. I'm not like shit talking him. He's an awesome guy. Like, I'm not, like I think he's a great person, and I can't like he's on Coast to Coast and a bunch of bigger shows too. So it's like. It's just cool to even do my show. And
it's cool.
I always like intro people. I'm always like, thanks for going backwards in your career, and jumping on my show. I appreciate it. Like there's like these huge people all the time. I can't believe they even answer me.
I know it is cool.
It's like a weird feeling.
It's nice. I told you when people connect with you, I think it's much easier for them to commit to something with you.
Yeah. I don't deal with publicists mostly because I butt heads with a lot of publicists.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because there's a lot. They're like, I mean, there's not a single publicist in the porn industry that'll deal with me now because like they just like they don't understand anything. They'll like try to give me ideas. I'm like, that's stupid. You'd be famous if you knew what you're doing. I mean, right. I'm like, why are you trying to tell other famous people how to do their job? And then I'm like, can you just introduce me to that person? That's your entire job is like to send a fucking email. You know, it's like, can you email that person because you're gonna get mad if I just email them. Right. And then they don't email them. They're like, oh, I don't think they'll do that. And then I ask them and they say yes. I'm just like, okay, well, clearly they want to do the show. You're just in the way. Like they get in your way out of jealousy and emotion almost because they wish they had a platform like that or something. I don't know. I'm guessing why, but they are jealous. It just seems like this weird jealousy thing. And so I just talk to the people myself because like publicists are just annoying. If it was like something huge, I'd go through it just out of respect or something. But it's just like I just talk to the person.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
I mean, if they're going to respond, they're going to respond. Like,
right.
Yeah, it's fishing. You know, it's like I mean, like, and it gets easier as you go, as you get the ball rolling and stuff. When they see you have other people that are famous on the show, it gets easier.
Right. No, exactly. That's so true.
That's what it seems like. But it's just like it's. And I've always been interested in like American culture and fame and stuff like that. And it's like just an interesting thing. It's like just to kind of like study and like figure out what people do. Really, you know, it's always been interesting, man.
What like when you looked into that? What was like anything that stood out to you? Like, what's a topic in American culture that you're just like mind blown by?
I think just fame in general, just the aspect of like what I think it's the lack of American royalty that basically just I think there's this weird part of the brain that wants people like some people are just like docile and like want to be told to do, you know?
Yeah.
And I think like and then other people American fame is weird though because I think it's like I think it's like wild and crazy people that can't be told to do, self-promote, and then they kill them once they get too big. That's like what it seems like to me. Yeah. So it's like you almost want to. That's why I wear a beard and stuff. So I can just like fake I can just shave and disappear. You know,
I'm a different person.
Yeah, I'm like if I shave, no one in this room would know what I look like. You know what I mean? Like no one would recognize me. And I think that's the appeal. I wear sunglasses, the hat, the beard. You know, just you kind of hide. Like I don't have a single picture of me online without a beard.
Yeah, you're mysterious, man.
No, it's just like it's a good. I'm wearing my disguise now, so when I get rich, I can just leave.
Right.
Just like, all right, I made my 20 million. I'm gonna just shave and like go live somewhere and nobody will recognize. So I think they kill these guys. I think they literally. I mean, look at all these celebrities that die randomly from drug overdose or whatever else. It's all murder.
It's true.
And if you're not, because the kind of person that becomes famous basically is a person you can't tell what to do. So then when you don't run the narrative they push, you're your guy that can't be told to do. So they murder you and then make sales off your stuff.
Or they put you in a conservatorship.
Right.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, exactly. They try to control you however they can. If they can't
mentally, if we can't do it physically, we'll do it mentally.
Yeah, and they deplatform you. They will deplatform you and then they murder you if you don't do the right thing.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It is.
The whole Britney Spears story is so sad to me too.
Well, that's why fame's terrifying. It's like alluring, but it's terrifying.
Or Amanda Bynes. Do you know who Amanda Bynes is?
Oh,
yeah. She's like
her story is wild too.
I mean, oh my God, that poor girl.
Yeah.
I don't know what she went through, but it had to have been brutal because
I mean,
when you see her stuff and see her now in comparison to like when I grew up watching her.
She's so witty and clever as a kid.
She was so funny.
Yeah.
So cute. Like she just was like, seemed like such a wholesome girl. And oh man, it's sad. So sad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You just don't want to fly too close to the sun. You gotta like, dude, you gotta find, you gotta be like, you know who Tech Nine is? He's like an underground rapper or something like that. Okay.
I know
I didn't know if he was big enough for. I didn't know for. But he's big in Missouri too. But I think you almost want to be like underground enough to where you can like monetize but not be a threat to society.
Yeah.
Almost. I think that's the goal. And then if you get too big, you just leave.
Well, that's true. The bigger you get, the more people want to chop you down.
Yeah.
You just get more enemies.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about the public as much as I'm worried about these guys that just kill the celebrities.
Yeah, the ones that are.
I'm more worried about things like the public. I mean, I don't care what they think. To be honest, I don't even care what I think. You know, what I mean? It's just like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna get stuck on anyone's
It's
opinion.
the ones behind the scenes that no one knows are there.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
That are controlling everything.
It's terrifying. That's why it's hard to leave.
The Illuminati.
Yeah,
the Illuminati. But yeah, I guess. I mean, so by the way, but I wanted to ask you. So you actually do the podcast out of a bus, though?
Out of my school bus. Yeah, I have a school bus that turned into an apartment house. Kind of thing.
Like
tour bus type thing.
This is a bus that you like a bus you bought, or like an abandoned bus you turned into a podcast studio, or
a school bus I bought that I turned into like a house so I don't have to pay bills.
Okay.
And then I basically you do my podcast there for now. I'm looking for a studio, but like people just don't like working with me because like, they get all mad about they try to tell me what to do all the time. Everyone's like, well, okay, you got a business working, but here's my opinion. I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
I mean, it's just a weird thing.
Why don't you just rent out a space where you have your own rules?
I did that. I tried to do that, but they get mad at me. That's why I because the last time was because I had a porn star co-host. Like, well, I don't know. He's like, you talk to people, and I covered the AVNs and stuff too. It's the porn awards. I covered the AVNs, so they're like mad about it. Like, and it's like, I mean, I'm like Christian. I'm like Jesus would walk with everybody, dude. You know, I'm like Jesus would wash their feet. You know, bro. It's just like, what do you I mean? It's just like insane that they want to judge and they act like they're the higher. They act like they have morals while they judge you.
Yeah.
It's like insane.
It's crazy.
It's like, well, I have an opinion, and like that. It's just like it's just that's the problem with having a space is like too many people try to control and they're too constricted.
Well, it's like, is your opinion more important than loving people?
Right.
You know.
Right. I think that's true, and I think that's inside themselves. And that's why I was going back to not caring about the public's opinions. Like most insults are just psychological projections of their insecurities.
Yeah, it is.
So if you're just like you're this, or like how I call people fat, I was like fat as a kid. How I call people, I have certain things. That's my thing in my head. But other people will call you names, and that's what they are. It's just like they're repeating how they view themselves.
Projecting.
Yeah. Like me calling that guy fat on the podcast. I was a fat kid, so I was projecting onto him.
Yeah.
And I'm self-aware of it, and like most people are not self-aware of it though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Very true.
I'm sure sometimes you're just doing things to kind of fuck around, though.
Well, and I think it's funny, but then you could like look into the psychology of it and like, why do I think that's so funny? Like, I mean, like, why would I go for that versus something else?
Yeah, I get it. But I mean, a lot of comedians push the envelope, right? I mean, I don't think they necessarily mean offense by it.
Oh, no.
You know
It's like
I mean?
talking shit for funny. I know. It's like my family. Like my parents are like that. So like we all just talk shit forever. You know?
But it's also one of those things where it's like when you're self-aware, like you're not as offended from criticism, even if it's like whether it's real criticism or just jokingly, like you're not as offended by it because you know yourself well enough to know that like, yeah, I do have these shortcomings and whatever. Like I'm working on it. So who cares? You know?
Exactly. And they'll say things to you that like you see it as them. It's like the weirdest thing. They'll be like, I bet you just play video games all day. And I'm like, I'll look at their profile and they're just like talking about video games all day. And it's just like literally a mirror. They're just telling me about themselves, you know?
Yeah,
right. And
very true.
Yeah, I noticed that when I used to like start art when in my 20s, I had like a lot of people on Facebook and I would just start and I was like verified before like you could buy it and stuff. and then like and I'd make fun of all these people and stuff. I'd be in arguments like 4,000 people at times. I had nothing better to do. I would when we were verified on Facebook before everybody had it. Like basically you could what I would do is I would follow major press and then I would just make fun of whatever the article was or whatever it was. I'd just be like, oh, that's stupid, you know. Or more clever than that though, you know. I'd make fun of it so then everybody would argue with me and then I'd make fun of them and then just go and it'd show up in their feeds and stuff and it'd just be like this huge snowball and like I mean of negativity which I found out and since stopped doing. But it was like I would just turn everybody into my digital billboard. Basically.
So you were like the OG online bully.
Yeah, right.
More or less. I mean, but it was like a marketing tactic more so.
I know. I'm teasing.
No, I get that.
Because if I make fun of you or ask you a question, you'll respond.
Yeah,
if I just say my opinion, be like, oh, nice shirt, you know, you'll hit like. You know, so it's like a different thing. So it's like I'd be like, what do you think of this? And people respond, or I'd be like, all right, fuck you. And they're like, nah, fuck you. And I'm like, then it goes in their feed. If they respond, it goes in their feed. They're used to. I don't know the algorithm now.
Oh, that's smart.
Let me ask you a question, just out of curiosity, because you just brought up like so. Do you believe that it's like for marketing tactics, right? Like obviously there's some people that love playing the heel, right? And they go out with the intention of making people hate them.
I love that you're smart enough to understand that.
Well, yeah, because
most people don't though. That's very smart that you saw.
Yeah, so it's like, do you think there's an issue with that? Do you think there's an issue with playing into that character?
I love that, and too many people believe it. Like other comics, like in the same scene, I'll just make fun of them all because we'll be at an open mic and I'll just like they'll say my name wrong and I'll roast them for saying my name wrong and I'll make fun of their entire sets. I'm like, you're better at DoorDash than comedy, you know. You stick with that, you know, and just fuck with them basically,
right?
And just like kind of like you said, play the heel. And most people aren't smart to pick up on that the first time meeting me. But no, it's very smart. But yeah, no, I'll do that, and they will think I'm serious. Right? And they'll hate me for like a decade because they think I'm serious, and I'm just messing around. I don't really care. It's like I just think it's funny to talk shit. Really,
it is. I think people take themselves too seriously sometimes.
For sure.
They do. Yeah,
it's like dude, you have to live life. Like, you have to be able to take a joke and enjoy yourself. Like, not everybody's trying to attack you and tear you down.
And if they were, what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Like, you know,
Right.
If I was being serious, what are you doing about it?
But it's also like
it's nothing. It's just like it's just crazy.
It's
I'm,
like, just
I'm
don't
not
come
serious.
see me.
But
it's an insecurity thing too, because it's like if you told me I was fat, I would laugh.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
if I was chunky or fat, like I would find it funny because
It is
I don't really
funny.
give a shit if you think I'm fat.
Right.
Like,
It's like,
okay.
Right.
Like,
thanks for the input.
you know what I mean? Like,
Appreciate
okay, whatever. Like, moving on. It just doesn't matter. Like, I just don't care what you think. You know?
I think I was pushing off a lot of pain on these people too. I think that was the main problem. They felt my energy.
It was a negative.
Because right now I feel like I have good energy because I basically I worked myself out of that. You know, like I was listening to like this like frequency book on the plane and stuff, and like just different things. But I feel like whenever I was just like, I mean, my mom's like really sick, so like whenever that affects me, I just roast people, and that's how I dealt with it before I stopped smoking weed, started working out all the time. I have other coping mechanisms now. But I was being like unnecessarily mean to that guy.
So
probably.
I think that makes a difference though too.
They
Like
felt
the
my
place you're
pain.
coming from when
Yeah.
you say something, even if it could be the exact same thing, you could say it the exact same way, but people feel the way that you're directing
That's
it at
what
them.
it is. Like I have like more of a fun energy right now, so like talking shit's funny. But like, but like if I didn't, like he definitely just felt me, and he's just like, I don't want to deal with this guy.
Yeah.
Like I was at a restaurant, I just looked at this guy, and he just like didn't even, like the service didn't even want to do it. Like, whenever I feel like that, like people just don't want to be. You just tell, like you know,
Yeah.
people, like it's weird.
You know, I can't. We talked about this yesterday. Like when I'm around somebody and I can tell that they're like a gossiper and they're just like not like in a good, happy place, I have to like create space with people like that. Because it's like it's hard enough on your own to stay in a good mental, emotional place regardless.
Right.
But it really drains you. Like being
does.
around people like that, it just like
does.
it's like they call them energy vampires. Like
Yeah.
it
They
drains
are.
the life out
They
of you.
they steal it from you.
I hate being like that. It's just like I'm trying to find new ways to deal with it honestly because like, it is a problem. And that's why I'm telling you I always apologize to people. 'Cause I'm like, I'll just go too hard on somebody and then I'll just be like, oh God. And like, I mean, I'll just tell them much uncomfortable. I bottle stuff up too because I don't want to tell people everything right away.
Do you
But-
journal?
No, but no.
You need to do that.
Yeah, I could. No.
Like every time you have like a rant in your head that you're like, I need to say this, you freaking write it out. And I know it sounds silly,
Yeah.
but it
No, it
actually
helps.
works.
It's
It
no
does.
wood.
Because you're getting it out.
I've been using text messages as journaling. Like so I'm just like roasting somebody. So you're probably right. I probably need to like type or something.
Okay,
instead.
so instead of a text, your notepad. And
Yeah,
your,
right.
and
I think
your
you're
phone.
right. That's what I was correlating
So
into. I think you're right.
It does work. I don't do it exactly like that, but I don't know if I told you. So what I've been doing for like the last year now is I leave myself voice notes.
Yeah.
I go into my voice notes and I leave memos. I say what's on my mind.
That's
I don't
smart.
So I don't write it out. So I could just talk because I like talking.
Yeah.
So I'll just voice it. Like if it's something I feel like I just need to get off my chest. So
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, it's
That's-
therapeutic because
It is therapeutic.
I feel so much better. I don't have to necessarily get it to
That's
the person.
amazing advice, actually.
It's
Well,
great.
it is
works.
because like a lot of times just holding it in isn't healthy either.
No, it's
right?
not.
But the person a lot of the time doesn't deserve what you have to say
I agree.
either.
Right.
I agree.
So it's like get it out
yeah.
and then think on it. And then if like an hour later, 2 hours, next day, if you're like, I still need to say this to this person,
Right.
go ahead. But 99.9% of the time, you
know.
don't need to anymore because
Yeah.
you got it out of yourself.
And
Like,
it was harder in my 20s. You get rewarded for it as a comedian.
Yeah,
you get rewarded
true.
for being a mean person, mean and terrible person. You get
Right.
rewarded for it.
'Cause
Not,
people find you hilarious.
well, yeah, because they don't have the balls to say it probably most of the time. So I'll roast all these people and stuff like that. And like I got rewarded for being a shitty person, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to like bring it back and just be like more balanced and stuff to where like I send like if I'm roasting, I'm gonna send like a better energy to it. It's like
yeah.
I mean, I don't know, but I'm like constantly messing up and apologizing. I'm trying not to though. But it's like I mean, like the other night I was out at the bar a couple weekends ago, and like I mean, I was drinking this like bottle of tequila. I probably had like 3/4 of the bottle 'cause I'm fucking stupid. And then like 3 people were like coming to my friend. And I was just like, I just turned around. I'm like, what's going on? He like ignored me. I'm like, what's going on? Like fucking with him and stuff. And then he just like didn't tell me. And I like took it, which is funny, right? And I took his wig and then threw it because he's wearing like an Afro wig. I just took his wig and threw it. And like everyone's laughing like you are, but like in the same sense. But I'm just like realizing that and then I go in there. I go in the bar like another week and something like that, and I go in there and he's there and he's like terrified. You can tell he's like terrified, and he's like talking to the bartender. He's like, is he gonna do it? He told on me like a little bitch, like I mean, and he tried to do the same thing, and he's like, is he gonna start any trouble? And then like just like and this, and I walk over to him and I go, you know what, man, I was kind of in the wrong, and I shook his hand and I was like, I'm really sorry about that. I was kind of in the wrong. I didn't know the whole story. I just saw 3 people coming to my friend, and I'm sure if you're in the same situation, you do the same thing, you'd back your friends, and that's what he was doing. You're backing your friends. My friend said something probably ignorant to like the girl there or something like that. So I actually understand what happened now. And like it's my friend. He's just trying to piss people off too. He's like me. He's just like we're just like edgelord assholes that just want to fuck with people, and like they don't understand that culture, and like they're just like, well, he said something mean to a girl, and like and it's just like, well, you don't think they're equal?
Right.
I mean, you don't think women are equal? You know, it's like great spin, right? Great spin. But no, but I'm just saying, like, and I understand it, and so I like apologize again. And that's just an example of like me just like being crazy and ridiculous, and I think that then having the accountability to know that it's wrong, and then you bought me a shot of Jameson on my alcohol streak. I'm telling you about, you know,
Right.
You always keep buying me alcohol.
I have a question for you on that. Do you feel like all these changes you're trying to make are because you're a Christian now?
I think like feeling my soul. Yeah, I think so. I definitely, I think a lot of that is, but also I'm just getting older too. Like what Chris and I were talking about earlier, it's like you just become like, when I was like how he handled like just being calm yesterday with all the crazy stuff. He's like, it comes with age. And I think a lot of what he said too, it comes with age, but I also think, I think God definitely helped me out with that.
Yeah.
And made me feel accountable, and I feel my soul when it's dirty and stuff like that. And I don't like the feeling. And I feel like forgiveness is like, it's like, how is he going to forgive me if I don't forgive everybody else and stuff? And I can't hold on to that. And that's kind of where I'm at for sure. Like, I think like, Jesus definitely helps me a lot with that.
So when did you convert to Christianity? Because you weren't always a Christian, right?
No. I was never brought up that way, and I was kind of like a shitty person without realizing I was shitty. Like, I mean, I just, because society, like I said, society rewards you for being mean. So I would, I was, this is probably TMI, but I was taking a shower, and then I like basically felt how dirty my soul was. And then I saw this like soap I had, and it said clean mind, body, and soul. It was like Dr. Bronner's soap. And it was really weird because I felt like it did. Yeah. And it was like, and I haven't found one that says mind, body, and soul since, which is kind of ironic and weird also. Right. And it sounds like a made up story. It sounds like some like TV show or movie. But I literally felt how dirty my soul was. And I felt like I was saved in that moment, that like Jesus basically, like I saw his face in my eye. Like when I closed my eyes, I saw his face basically. And then like he just like stared, he didn't say anything, he just stared through me. And he just like, and like I felt like I was like saved, because like none of my evil was like me being like Hitler or something. It was like me just being a jester and like taking it out, not knowing how I was hurting people and how I was making them feel, because I never really thought about that. I just thought that everybody thought it was funny, but the person being picked on doesn't think it's funny.
Right.
And I'm like slowly realizing that. And maybe I realized that as a kid, but I didn't realize that as an adult. I was just like not even thinking about it. And I think that I felt how dirty my soul was, and like I haven't cut my hair or shaved since, which is also weird. Like another time, I haven't like since I was like a couple years, like 7-8 years ago. And I like my friends like didn't even recognize me. Like, they like the change I made. Like I was like I went from just picking on everybody to like I remember I was at my buddy's band house. He's like in a reggae band, and like this lady's like, "Hey, can you walk me to the car?" And I would have been a dick and made fun of her probably before that. The day before I probably would. But I like I made it fun so she didn't feel weak. I like walked backwards and like did this weird thing. And I walked into her car so she didn't feel weak. And I sat down and I just changed a lot as a person. And I'm trying to be that way all the time.
I love that.
It's like
That's
the thing,
good,
but I can't be. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be. I'm
no,
close.
But
I'm close.
It's the pursuit that counts.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely trying. And I do mess up. I try to be as accountable as possible. I try to own it. I try to be honest. I try to be like, this is like crazy. Sorry. Yeah. I'm like not trying to like. I just have to own it all the time instead of blaming other people.
Well, there's nothing you can do about it. Like you're gonna screw up. Like we all do. Like I've said so many things I shouldn't have said. I've like even with texting. You know, speaking of texting, I've sent so many texts that I wish I wouldn't have sent.
Same.
But there's a difference between like just like say like being that way and not thinking anything of it, and being that way and going, actually that was shitty. Like there's a huge difference. And
absolutely.
if you can at least go, you know what, I really shouldn't have sent that, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's still progress.
And my friends are saints for dealing with me still. I mean, I've just like they know I'm dealing with a lot with my mom. I think too is why they're so kind. But it's like I just think like I don't know. Like I think that they're saints for dealing with me and like forgiving me constantly. I feel like almost because I'll just like go off about stuff and like just like and they're just like, "Are you okay, man?" And I'm like, "You're probably right. Sorry." Like,
they're your friends though.
They
right?
are.
I mean,
best friends.
That's how you know.
Yeah, for decades, been my best friends, man.
That's amazing, and it's probably making an impact on them too.
I think so too. I think I think a lot of them are only married because I got married, to be honest.
Wow.
I think a lot of, and I'm not trying to say that they met the girl they wanted and stuff, but I don't know if they would have pursued marriage if I didn't.
Yeah.
That's
like,
great. So you were a good influence on them.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And they are on me also, I think. Like,
and I think it's beautiful that they're seeing the changes in you and you're not like slamming your religion in their face. And I think that's the most important thing with like Christianity, especially just because of the way it is in the Western culture.
Yeah.
I think that people should see it in you. They shouldn't have to hear it about you.
And that's,
you know?
And I'll tease people. Like, I'll tease them just to make myself laugh, like pro wrestling kind of thing. But I don't actually, I mean, I feel bad that they're not. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm just like, you're your own person.
Yeah,
and I think
agree.
that way.
I think the way that you portray yourself is more important than who you say you are.
I think it is too, and I think I mean probably 4 or 5 of my buddies got married after I did, and I don't think, and I don't mean to say it like, oh, you're doing, but I think like it influenced them and showed them that like true love exists, and it's not always like their parents.
Yeah.
Basically,
yeah.
So I think a lot of my parents, my generation, a lot of the parents didn't stay together.
Yeah,
so people mimicked that
Same.
basically.
Yeah,
and it got worse and gets worse, and now everybody's an OnlyFans.
Right.
I know, right?
And they don't want to get married.
OnlyFans is the solution.
Yeah, it's just like,
All right, everybody. Again, thank you for joining another episode in the books. As always, we appreciate every one of you. Please give us feedback. I know I say it all the time, but it's because we appreciate and love it, and it helps us grow the show for you. If you have any input as to what kind of topics you'd like to hear us talk about in the future, please leave comments. Let us know. We will gladly pick one and discuss it for you. Check out Anthony on IG at Better Than the Beatles. He's the man. His content's amazing. His podcast is great. So if you're looking for some entertainment for the week, definitely check his show out. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And as always, we appreciate you. Be sure to tune in next week for part 2 with Anthony Rogers.